Chicago-Kent College of Law. The highest-ranking student in the class was a blind man named Overton. And when he received his honor, he insisted that half of the credit should go to his friend, Kasperzak. They had met together at school once when the armless Mr. Kasperzak had guided the blind Mr. Overton down a flight of stairs. This acquaintance ripened into friendship and a beautiful example of interdependence. The blind man carried the books, which the armless man read aloud in their common study, and thus the individual deficiency of each was compensated for by the other. After their graduation, they planned to practice law together. A beautiful example, isn't it? An inspiring story of how two people, who some may consider less than whole, can more than overcome the challenges they face when they work together. I suggest this is a great example of our church family. Our condition is similar. You and I have our own challenges, our own deficiencies. We also have our own unique strengths. If you and I work together, we are able to help one another along this road we call life. In helping one another, we fulfill the command Jesus gave his disciples. Not to go and make disciples, but to love one another. John chapter 13, verses 34 and 35, Jesus says, "A new commandment I give to you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must also love one another. By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." What kind of example are you and I if we bicker and fight all the time and claim to be Christ-like? How does that paint a picture of Christ for others? As a bickering, complaining God. Because we are taking his name upon ourselves when we call ourselves Christians. He says, all men will know you are my disciples if you have love for one another. So we're supposed to love, but not for the things we get from each other. Not because we like everyone we run into. My guess is, here this morning, we probably have two people who may not be real fond of each other. We have that in most any family too, right? We are Christ's family. We are his sons and daughters. There may be someone here that you don't particularly care for this morning. But Jesus says, love one another. We can make a choice to love one another, whether we like one another or not. We can choose to walk forward as a unified body in Christ this morning. Now I can hear you asking, well, what does it mean to love one another? What is that all about? Well, yesterday, men, was a very important day. If you got it wrong, I'm sorry. You'll have to wait 364 days to try again. Yesterday was Valentine's. It was funny. I was at the store getting something for my wife, and the lady came over the speakerphone and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Valentine's is tomorrow." She quickly caught her mistake and she rephrased and said, "No, it's actually today." Valentine's, it's a holiday all about love. Oh, that gushy, squishy stuff. It's all about love. But it actually centers around a man named Valentine. Valentine, who would marry soldiers, and he would care for those oppressed by the Roman authorities. Legend has it that Valentine healed the daughter of his jailer. Before his execution, he supposedly wrote a letter to the girl, signing it, "Your Valentine." Oh, it's all about love. Over the centuries, flowers, chocolate, and Cupid have come into play. So yesterday we celebrated the commercialized holiday of Valentine's Day. It's a great time to remember the love that we have for one another that sometimes we're not good at showing. So it's a good thing. It's all about love. This is what Jesus was talking about, right? Loving one another with chocolate and candy and flowers? Well, not exactly. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 and 9. It says, finally, all of you, live in harmony with one another. Be sympathetic. Love as brothers. Be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult, but with blessing. Because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. Friends, that is what love is. It's not necessarily repaying with what has been dealt to you, but repaying as Christ has repaid you. Christ has given you and I a gift. There is no way we can earn it. No way we even deserve it. And yet He's offered it to us. It's the least we can do to offer that to someone else. That's what love is all about. Taking care of others. I suggest one way that we can love one another is by serving one another with the gifts that God has given to us. Our talents, our energy. We can use our talents to bless one another. Maybe you've been on a mission trip or served someone here at home, and if so, you know the blessing that it is to serve someone else. I know every time that I've gone overseas on a mission trip or gone to one of the neighboring countries to give of myself, my time, my energy, I come home feeling more of a blessing than I think anybody else could have ever received. Because it is a blessing to serve others. God knew that. That's why He told us to love one another. Now, before we go ahead and start talking more about these gifts, these spiritual gifts that God gives to us, I want to take a little quiz. Does that sound fun? Yeah, I thought that would be overwhelming. I'm sure our kids really don't want to take any more quizzes. They probably had some yesterday. But we're going to take a quiz this morning. Question number 1. Every Christian has at least one spiritual gift. True or false? True. If you said false, don't feel bad. You're still wrong, but don't feel bad. Every Christian has been given at least one spiritual gift. So if you're sitting here this morning and saying, God didn't give me a gift. Well, according to this question, what are you saying about yourself? I'll let you think about that. Second, unbelievers also have spiritual gifts. True or false?